Jimmy White to break.
I'm sure this match will be played in a great spirit, but they both want to win it. Particularly, of course, Jimmy White doesn't want to start his 44th season going away with no prize money, no ranking points. There was that missed pink, wasn't there, Ross, in that third frame against Hughes, which sort of set the pattern a little bit for Jimmy. A big disappointment. He really should have won that frame.
Yeah, that was a tough moment for Jimmy there. I think just maybe took it slightly for granted. It wasn't the most difficult of shots, but yeah, I mean, if you're not feeling totally comfortable out there, and I don't think many players will be early in the season, definitely a little bit of rust still in the arm, then any ball is missable.
And then he had to go straight on again to play Judd Trump, and Trump played very well in that match, but he's had a little break, Jimmy, since then.
I'm sure he would have been on the practice table as well.
Both of these players have received the MBE for their contribution to snooker. Of course, Rhianne Evans, 12 World Championship victories, 60 ranking titles on the Women's Tour.
Not left a great deal. The white was kissed and stopped in the middle of the table, but I don't think there's too significant a damage done. Jimmy looking at this red and balk to play a good safety shot. Played it nicely. Not the easiest of returns here for Rhianne. That red that just came out of the pack has blocked the return to balk down the left side of the pack. That's why Rhianne's given this one a lot of thought. Might have to come off the side cushion and try and rest up to this one nearest the black cushion. I'm not sure, but that might even be a plant to the right of the pink. Maybe not, because she's not looked at it. Played this nicely. It was a plant, and I believe she could have got through to that. Maybe a little bit of a missed opportunity there. That plant still exists, so got to be a little bit careful with these shots. The pink has blocked it somewhat. I think maybe she's noticed it now, but it's a shot too late. That red on the black cushion is still causing Rhianne a problem here. If that wasn't there, it'd be quite a straightforward return to balk, but it has now become a difficult one. I think it actually puts the pot into the left pocket as an option, but she's opting for a safety shot. This has to be caught well. This looks like a good shot. Very good shot. Deserved tap on the table. There's been some great safety battles in this group today. Very enjoyable to watch.
Yes, it was always an eye-catching group on paper, and that's how it's panned out. Judd Trump's still a big favourite to win it. We'll see what happens there after this one. This is intriguing in different ways, not least, of course, third and fourth.
At the end of the season, that 1,000 ranking points could make a big difference, so both players aware of the significance on this match.
Well, in fairness, he didn't have a lot of run in his first couple of matches. He's had some there.
And that is a proper bit of run if he's on the black as well.
Oh, look at all the different kisses there.
He certainly is. So it has now become a nice opportunity to put some points on the board.
8.
Yeah, Jimmy White, professional since 1980. He's in recent years had to rely on the invitational tour cards from World Snooker. Has that red? Well, did that stay true?
He stayed down on it. I think he might have just clocked it turning up a little bit.
It's happened a lot, that has, it's got to be said. So the good luck that he had hasn't come to much. I was going to say, yeah, he's relied on those tour cards, but of course he got his place back as of right this season. But that has gone wrong immediately.
1.
Rhianne Evans looking for a win, and if she were to beat Jimmy White, what a memorable win that would be.
More than capable. She had a very good break in the last frame in the second frame of the last match. I think she can draw a lot upon that, knowing that scoring is there today.
Yeah, and I think that her best performances
6.
on the World Snooker Tour have been against top players. She came close to beating Shaun Murphy in the Champion of Champions a few years ago, close to beating Mark Allen at the British Open. She gave Mark Selby some trouble last year in a tournament. So she's competitive. It's turning that into actual victories.
Could be the occasion as well. You know, some
7.
people get up for big occasions, and maybe Reanne is one of those players. Not the worst double kiss in the world. Not really affected position too much, but certainly didn't play that double kiss. I believe it was the red she was intending on landing on, but I doubt that was part of her plans. Opted for the more difficult red, and that's a great pot.
It's a bit of a misunderstanding you hear sometimes talking about the men's tour, the men's world championship. It's the professional game, which has been open to men and women for many decades. In fact, if you go back 30 years, there were several female professionals. Alison Fisher was someone that Jimmy would have known well.
Slightly overrun the position here.
16.
Is that a plant to middle bag? It'll be very handy if it is. That certainly helped our scenario there. Back in prime position now.
Yeah, of course, she's always had this attention on her. She's been the flag bearer for the women's game. Not easy to have that extra expectation when you're competing on such a competitive tour. Well, of course, now more women on tour as well. And of course, she's lost her world title, so it's something that I'm sure in her mind she'll be already aiming for this season to make it 13. Comes from a snooker playing family. Her father and brothers all play. From quite a hotbed for the game in Dudley, in the West Midlands.
33.
Not a lot to do with the cue ball here, just a series of soft playing positional shots. Just needs the 4 reds in the middle of the table. slightly blocking each other at the moment, but the left of the 3, if she can get on that and then play the one below it, it slightly opens everything up. I mean, playing on the lower one was a good
38.
decision, because now that opens all 3.
39.
Might have to play a little nip cannon here. If the pink's not dead straight to middle, might have to glance off the middle of the 3. And it has gone slightly wrong.
Give me a second.
Gonna need to play a good recovery shot with a long rest here. Probably extension on the cue as well.
Okay. 45.
White will miss the black, I believe. Probably drop it in and try and play top side of blue. But it has tied up one of the cluster of reds, so one of the reds from the cluster, so makes winning the frame at this visit a little bit more difficult. That extension sounds a bit rattly.
Yeah, it's not the best, I don't think.
Opted to stun that. Hasn't done too much damage, but I thought topspin would probably just avoid the black.
Rhianne Evans. 45.
Quite a big shot to middle bag, that. Not left a great deal.
Now Jamie Clark, of course, has already got 3 points on the board. Beat Andy Lee earlier, and he's a couple of balls away from beating Stuart Carrington, also 3-1. So he'd be in a very strong position. He would need a draw against Joe Perry later tonight to win the group.
65.
Tough group, that. Stuart Carrington back onto the Q School, always difficult to beat. Obviously Perry's top seed. Andy Lee's got a lot of experience as well, but Jamie Clark is the favourite now for sure. Perry's got to beat him.
70.
Another good safety shot from Reanne there. Jimmy's had a
71.
excellent reply there. Bit of an early call from myself. I never quite envisaged it ending up like that, but he'll take that. That could be a full ball snooker.
Yes, angled.
Although interestingly, would it be deemed as a full ball snooker because the knuckle isn't really in play, is it? Like,
Yeah.
So would the 3 misrule be?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. I think there was a time when that was the case.
It isn't half a spot of bother here. Looking at the table, not a lot of options to go at. All the balls blocking each other. She's had to swerve in between the brown and green, and that's a fabulous effort. Very, very
yes.
unfortunate.
Give me a white. Yeah.
Oh, a nasty spot to, to find yourself in.
Yeah.
I'm glad for the rule change because it would have been pretty harsh to have a 3 miss rule in this scenario. Got it this time, I believe. And possibly got away with it. Great shot, but deserved a little bit of luck there. Balls have went a little bit scrappy here. Jimmy playing for that knuckle again. Another tough spot now. If that blue's covered that red, Jimmy's got to open the frame up, but I think he'd be doing well to not leave this red into the left pocket. He has left it. Another chance for Rhianne to put this frame away. Not an easy one by any means, but half chance here if she can play a good positional shot. Might be forced into taking this pot into the right pocket. If she chooses to drop on the little cluster on the left side, she'd leave a red to middle pocket, so a bit of value in taking on this pot into the right bag. It is a tough pot, but I think it's almost certain she'll leave a pot into the right centre, possibly the right black bag as well, by dropping on one of these ones on the left side cushion. Possibly can't see the one on the right side.
Rather cagey stuff, but it's such an important match this. Remember, Rhianne Evans with a draw would finish third. Jimmy White's got a win, and it's a very short match, so if he were to lose the first frame, he's right up against it. He's got to win the last three.
That was a big pot to take on.
Could be costly. Rhianne Evans 33 in front already.
Whoa.
So with big colours here, she could win this frame with the three reds in the open as opposed to the three here close to this pocket.
Overscrewed that slightly. White ball's maybe heading towards those three reds now, unless she really nips the white.
No.
Possibly straight into middle bag. It isn't the worst result. But rightly considering a safety shot as well. And doesn't want to leave the clearance as an option for Jimmy should she miss the black to middle bag. Colour safe at this moment certainly would be very valuable. Smart play
Rhianne
that.
Evans.
Jimmy looking at this tough pot.
Yeah, it seems like she's in control of things and sort of forcing white a little bit into taking balls on.
Gets a bit of cover here, and that could really help Jimmy's cause in this frame. I don't believe he's got the cover. But what sort of angle is on this red? Digging down suggests not a lot. Great pot.
Whoa.
Never easy those digging down. A trace aside and the white will deviate off course.
Well, it's another 8 points off the table. She's still in control here.
Green ball.
Another opportunity to put a valuable colour safe as well. Not quite done it on this occasion.
Rhianne Evans.
Well, Jimmy White will surely feel he cannot afford to leave her another chance. She only now needs a couple of reds.
Shot to nothing here. Into this left black bag. Coming back up for blue or bot colour. Very thick on that shot.
Yeah, exactly. What I said he didn't want to do is what he's done. So he sits down, possibly for the last time in this frame.
Whoa.
Left it quite tough. One good pot in this black and should be the first frame secured. Far from easy.
So that does
Rhianne
change
Evans.
things, because now the table is more open. The brown, of course, Rhianne Evans put safe earlier, which may certainly help down the line if white gets that far.
I think where the green is as well wouldn't make it too difficult freeing that brown up further along the line.
Whoa.
But quite a bit of work to do before getting to that stage. Nice positional shot there from Jimmy. Choice of both pink and black.
Black ball.
No, will Jimmy be on this red after respotting the black?
Ooh, and he's conceded.
8.
And
Frame
there's
conceded.
still enough on, I think, to win. So it could be the referee might have a word there. He's just frustrated that he snookered himself.
Jimmy, I've got to give you a warning now.
Yeah, the referee. He's speaking to him because there was enough on to
Two
win the
left.
frame.
So, okay, all right. Once the concession's been accepted, which it has done.
Rhianne's
because I
asking
put
if she can
balls-
carry on, but obviously
Yeah, okay,
you know,
right.
balls were put on the
You know
table.
the routine. Yeah, another one. Okay. all right.
Anyway, it's rather unfortunate, but the fact is, Rhianne Evans has won the frame. She leads 1-0. Welcome back. Just to explain what happened there. So Jimmy White conceded that frame. He was 36 behind. There was still 43 on. And the rule is if you can still win the frame, which he could, then you can't do that. That's why the referee went over to speak to him. But I think it just underlines the frustration he's had today. You know, as I said this morning, I saw him before play began. He was so excited. Things have not gone his way, partly because he hasn't played well, partly things have conspired against him. And he just got annoyed there and conceded. So 1-0 to Rhianne Evans.
I think it's easily done when a few things don't go your way. You know, early doors, probably alignment slightly off at the start of the season as well. That's from my own experience yesterday as well. I know it can be tough. Yeah, just the frustration mounted there for Jimmy, but yeah, 1-0 to Reanne.
Yes, I mean that rule, and sort of the fines that go with it, was introduced because there were players like Quinton Hand from Australia who were conceding, you know, with 14 reds on. That's why it was brought in. But rules are rules. Rob Spencer is there to apply them as the referee.
I think great sportsmanship shown there by Reanne as well. She was saying that she was happy to continue because I think she realised Jimmy maybe just wasn't thinking for that split second, maybe miscalculated the scores. Fantastic to see great sportsmanship there.
Well, she has an immediate chance here. She played a good frame in the end, you know, she kept control of it. But she hasn't potted that. So can Jimmy White just cool it a little bit and try and focus here? This is his last match. He's got to win it, remember, so that's to avoid finishing last. So he's got to win the last 3 frames now. And he hasn't won a frame at all day.
Nothing feeling easy for Jimmy today. Just one of those days. Another opportunity for Reanne here.
One.
Cue ball slightly closer to the side cushion than she would have wanted. Probably has to play for this red along the black cushion now.
Eight. No.
Decision time. Is now the time to go into the pack or take a couple more loose reds? I think screwing into the pack's definitely top pick here. Not quite enough zip on that cue ball.
60. Rhianne Evans 60.
Possibly with the rain we've had all afternoon, the table maybe wasn't quite playing as reactive as earlier. Attacking safety there from Jimmy. Needs to miss the brown. Has done so. Good safety shot. Just looking at dropping on this red on the side cushion. Wouldn't leave a lot. Probably a speculative plan at most, but played it well. Maybe twice across here for in behind the yellow, but a little bit of risk involved in that shot with a red over the corner pocket.
I think this is what's so interesting about snooker. You know, all the practice everyone does, but every frame develops differently, doesn't it? And you suddenly find yourself in the position you're in, and you've got to cope with that scenario.
You never know what you're going to face in a frame of snooker. The way the balls run, very, very unique and unpredictable. Has Rhianne left a gap here, or possibly a plant? I think definitely left the plant. Jimmy opting to roll up. Has it reached?
Foul and a miss. Rhianne Evans. Yeah.
So back we go. Day's not getting more enjoyable, is it?
Is that right? Yeah. Rhianne. Thank you.
I think in the group stage format, when you're on a bad run, you're just looking for one moment of inspiration to try and switch things round. Yesterday I lost 5 frames in a row and I was feeling a lot like Jimmy, but managed to do a clearance and it just helped pick up things a little bit. Never fully returned to top form, but you're just looking for something to get kick-started, and I don't think Jimmy's quite found that yet.
No, I mean, it should have been that third frame, which he needed the pink against Schuster to win it. That was his opening match, and you know that would have been 2-1. He might then have got the draw. Who knows? The whole day could have been different. Anyway, that's in.
Well,
great pot. And that is pretty unfortunate not to be on a colour, but don't want to be playing the next shot.
Jimmy White one.
Not a lot of safe spaces on the cue ball. I think trying to land on the one on the black cushion, a little bit tough from that angle. I think the blue might just be in the way, and always a chance of going round the back of it.
Referee immediately pointing to where the pink was, so he knows where to put it.
Jimmy White 6.
That was a tough snooker to get out of. Left a chance here for Jimmy, but a bit smelly, bridging over that red to middle bag. We know how that bag's turning up slightly as well, so sensibly opting to put it back.
I'm not sure which ones of these reds moved.
Neither am I, to be honest. A lot of balls moved.
Yeah, I mean, this is where it's very difficult for the referee. The players will do their best to help him.
Because I think it's hit that one. It's one of these two, isn't it?
This one and this one to go with what with it.
I think it just this middle one with that one.
Yeah, just that one a bit closer.
Yeah, just put it a couple of balls towards
Nothing else?
the white.
No.
It's got to go towards the white.
This red.
Where the
Towards
white is roughly.
Yeah.
That's both.
That way a bit. Yeah.
Both happy with that?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. As long as the two players have agreed to it.
Not 100% sure which red Rhianne's tried to drop on here. Possibly trying just to nestle up tight to one red to sort of limit the damage a little bit, but not a lot of safe spaces. Maybe a little value in the old hit and hope here.
Well, meanwhile, I think there's a problem with the scoreboard. Which Rob's in the thick of the action here, isn't he? He's issuing warnings, he's putting balls back, and now he's got to fix the machinery.
Certainly earned his wages this frame.
Yes, I mean, your compatriot Stephen Maguire is quite well known in this situation. And, you know, you can get it safe, you can fluke one. You know, it looks reckless, but it's not always.
I think we both know what shot Stephen would have opted for. I don't think it would have been going back. Or certainly if it was, it would have been a bigger headache for Rob. And now see what red she's tried to play on. That is a good option she's found there, but such a precise shot required here. Just needs to miss the pink.
Yeah.
with it being early in the frame and scores fairly even, has a few attempts at this. Would be a good position to leave the cue ball if she can make contact with this red on the black cushion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bit closer this time, but just narrowly wide, I believe.
Foul. And a miss. Jimmy White 4.
Fractional adjustment.
Well, Jimmy White was the opponent of Stuart Bingham, who holds the record for most misses, 16. Jimmy got him in an evil snooker years ago, in a frame that Bingham ultimately did win with a big break. But 16 misses.
Absolutely remarkable to go on and win the frame after getting put back 16 times.
Foul.
That shows very good mental strength.
It was this sort of scenario, though. I mean, I didn't see it, but Stuart told me about it. It was early in the frame. He was trying to hit a specific red so as not to leave other reds on, and just kept on going until eventually it happened, and obviously gave away a lot of points, but there was still, you know, all the reds were still there, so he could still win the frame with a big break.
I think that record could be about for quite some time.
Okay.
Maybe after close to 10 attempts, I think the swing at the cue ball might have been a favoured option for a lot of players. Looks a good line this time, and a good pace. I think she's just going to make contact. Whoa.
Foul. And a miss. Jimmy White 4. Yes.
Can't get much closer than that without hitting it. We're edging closer to that 16, but
Stuart will be hoping that the record goes. I don't think it's one you really want.
I made that maybe 5 times now. I think that's a wee bit wider than the last attempt. Or maybe not. Right line, but not enough pace. Or is it?
Foul. And a miss.
Oh,
Jimmy White 4.
a quarter of a ball short. If that aircon was running a little bit harder in the background, it might have blown it towards that red. Yeah, I don't think you can get much closer than that without hitting it.
No, but this is the thing. Obviously, it has to be a miss. She's trying to hit a specific red, so she's going to have to hit something. Otherwise, it'll keep going back. Unless she leaves a red on, of course.
Could that be the shot this time? Oh, surely not.
Foul.
Surely not.
Jimmy White 4.
Well, this is like one of those anxiety dreams.
Can you believe finding that gap?
Bad, innit?
Huh?
Bad, innit?
I bloody read the video earlier on, it went up like half a ball.
It must have drifted off.
I hope so.
Still got last.
Jimmy saying it might have turned slightly away from the red, so got to factor that into getting out of this snooker as well.
Rob Spencer quite rightly had to ask Jimmy White, do you want the ball put back? He said, I'd have thought so.
Yeah.
Well, I make that halfway towards Stuart's record. Good shot has been said, so contact has been made, and very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, got the double kiss and left the red on. Question though, can Jimmy White now, really for the first time today, put something together that's substantial? Because that's the point in laying a tough snooker, you're trying to get the reward from it.
Needs a little bit of work here to make it a clear-cut frame-winning opportunity. Balls just covering each other slightly. Oh, has he ran out of position? I think he has.
6.
Just not fallen for Jimmy today. Not quite enough nip on that cue ball to miss that red. That will frustrate Jimmy. I do feel the rain outside has maybe made just a little bit of difference to how the table's playing. And Jimmy certainly didn't play
3-1-6.
that. Hit the wrong red, I believe. Could have left it easier. Is there a pot at all? That's the question. He might have found a good spot. Body language suggests there's nothing on. That is pretty tight to get past the black for that red. Well worked out safety shot from Jimmy there.
The concern is that, as I say, he hasn't scored today. He's had quite a few chances. And whatever happens in terms of the group, he wants to leave Leicester tonight having put together at least one good frame before he goes back to practice for the next event, which I guess for him will be the European Masters qualifiers coming up in a few weeks.
I'm sure after the frustration for today, he'd be back on the practice table, grafting for the next event. I think Jimmy really does analyse all aspects of his game. He's borrowed a Joe Davis book off me when he was up in Musselburgh, so I know he's still working hard on his technical side of the game.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think he's always tried to, I mean, he's obviously a great natural talent, but he's always tried to, you know, new approaches and different ideas along the way.
Rhianne has left a red to this black bag, I believe. Could be the opportunity Jimmy's been looking for to put a frame on the board.
One.
Even with how Jimmy struck that, he doesn't look totally comfortable with the timing of the ball. I think, as you said earlier, that third frame against Shu C has a lot to play into the frustrations here.
Yeah, I'm afraid to say it's getting worse and worse now.
When you're suffering with alignment, any ball can be missed.
One.
Well, Reanne is a great friend of Jimmy White's, but that has got to be set aside because she must be sensing a serious chance here to end her campaign with a win.
Just needs this frame to secure third spot. Great opportunity here.
6. Seven.
The red's directly above the black to the left, to the right of the black, sorry. If she can clear that, then it'll make the black available into both bags and certainly make this opportunity a lot easier to capitalise on. That's the ball she's played for.
15.
That's a smart ball in unlocking this opportunity.
$22.
Referee took great care respotting that black because it's a little tight.
23.
Table 2, Andy Lee and Stuart Carrington are well progressed in their opening frame. But remember, Jamie Clark there is on 6 points, Joe Perry 4.
30.
So it's going to be one of those two who wins the group.
$30.
Overrun position on the blue slightly. Probably going to choose the brown here. A little bit of a tougher positional shot than it would have been from the blue, but still a great opportunity. Switching hands. A little bit under hit. Makes this pot missable.
35. Rhianne Evans. 35.
Yeah, and indeed she has missed it, so she's increased the lead to 17.
One.
Very solid pot there. How's the kiss? Not bad at all. He's low on the brown, so not too difficult to get the white back up towards the reds. Not played it ideal. Still on a choice of 2 reds into both pockets. With how good Jimmy is with the rest, I'm not surprised he's taken this one on.
Yeah, exactly. If he's missing with the rest, you know he's struggling, because it's always been a great strength of his, but it's just been a disappointing day at the office, you know, getting around that.
Jimmy White 5.
Was contemplating the slightly more difficult pot into the right middle, but this is probably the better ball. Just needs to make sure the pot and position on the black and not quite hit hard enough.
1.
Maybe choose to try and get the white in behind the yellow here, possibly from the blue.
Blue ball. Rhianne Evans 1.
Just a little bit thick contact, but is the white going to nestle up to the pink? Just past. So one good pot here. And it could be that second frame that will guarantee Reanne 3rd spot in the group. Very solid pot. Good position. Great opportunity now.
Yeah, she's looked the more confident of the two in this match, and that's another good pot. So 21 in front. She needs the last 2 reds here. Ooh, and she's missed that one.
Rhianne Evans 8.
Just as she was poised to take the frame and the point.
One.
Doesn't want to be straight on the black. If he's got any sort of angle, then position on the red becomes a lot easier, but judging by the body language, I don't think he's got much angle.
Jimmy White 1.
black ball finish on table 2.
Stuart has just missed a straight black off its spot for the frame. This will hurt if Andy can pot this. Oh.
Well, Stuart Carrington will be so relieved to get the second chance. You don't always, of course.
Chance for Jimmy here as well.
What?
Struck that nicely.
7.
So Carrington does in fact pop that. He's 1-0 up, but of course the big match is still to come. Jamie Clark and Joe Perry.
A little bit unfortunate there from Jimmy. Not quite landed on the brown. Just another half roll on the cue ball. He'd have been on it. This is a lot more difficult to get position on the yellow. Staying down, I don't know how happy he is. This could be a snooker.
7.
I think he knew as soon as that cue ball left his tip that it was just slightly overhit. But where's the yellow going? Never seen that shot.
No.
Very clever indeed.
Wow. Well, can he now press on from this extraordinary fluke on the yellow?
Lovely control cue ball as well.
12.
Good opportunity here to flick the blue out. Nicely played. That has totally changed this frame.
Well, it could be another respot, this. Blue and pink could be 7 in front on the black.
20.
What sort of angle does he have on the pink? Needs an angle. Doesn't want to be straight. Oh, I think he's got a small chance here. Has to screw off the side cushion and the bulk cushion. What a shot this will be if he can pull this off. Not chose it.
20.
Opted for the double.
Can Jimmy White double this black to win his first frame of the day? It's been a trying day in many ways. But in it goes. So Jimmy White does indeed win the frame. He got lucky on the yellow. He's acknowledged that. But of course he can still win this match. It's 1-1. Jimmy White won, Rhianne Evans won. Evans was certainly in control of that frame until very near the end of it. Jimmy White, an outrageous fluke on the yellow. He made the clearance. It was a great double on the black. He's won his first frame. And as I say, if he wins this match, he'll finish above Evans in the table in third. She'll be fourth.
That clearance has certainly changed the dynamic of this match. It sort of came out of nowhere as well. Jimmy struggling. Jimmy not fancying the long red, changed his mind. Attacking safety. Cover behind the yellow. Could be a problem for Jimmy here. Can he get through to just nip that red?
Foul. Rhianne Evans.
That's one way to get back to baulk, but certainly not a bad result. Just hit that slightly thick. Opportunity here for Jimmy into this left black bag. That was timed lovely. That last frame could have given Jimmy that spark that he was so looking for the whole day.
Oh, now the shoelace is undone, so he's going to tie that up. A bit advanced in age to be a schoolboy, Jimmy. Although when he was the right age, he spent most of his time in the snooker club. In fact, he came to an arrangement with the headmaster. As long as they knew he was in the club and nowhere else, he was fine to go down there on the Friday and play.
Seven.
Certainly struck the ball a little bit better. I know it's still early doors, but tightened the ball a lot better in this frame so far. Let that run slightly. Is he on anything?
12.
No.
If looks could kill. That's annoyed him. And as you say, just as things were starting to look up, he'd won a frame, he was starting to just hit the ball nicely.
This is a very, very tough pot here. Maybe a little bit of frustration in it. Where's the cue ball?
Foul. Jimmy Wright 12.
Wow, well that's just
Rhianne Evans 4.
completely gone wrong in 2 shots. Just as Rhianne Evans comes to the table, I did promise to repeat our quiz question, so I must do that. We've got 2 tickets to give away to the Champion of Champions in November. The day Judd Trump plays, tournament starts on November the 13th. We don't know which day it'll be yet, but if you want to come and watch Judd's group, then the question is, which was Judd Trump's first
6.
ranking title success? Which was the tournament, his first ranking title success? Send your answer to the official Championship League Twitter account at CL Snooker. That's at CL Snooker, and we'll announce the winner in the next match. So, what was Judd Trump's first tournament success in a ranking event? Don't answer, Ross, if you know. You're not allowed to enter.
I was trying to rack my brains there. I've got a little bit of an idea.
$40. 50.
A little cannon on the red directly above the black, I think, is the play here. Should free the red to the right of it. Oh,
Rhianne Evans.
don't forget about the black.
50.
I believe she's left the red to this left corner. Another opportunity for Jimmy.
Yeah, she thought she got the black still, but it wobbled and it didn't drop. She was nicely on the next red.
It's a bit dangerous sometimes when you've got to play a positional shot that involves a cannon or a certain area. Take your eyes slightly off the pot.
1. Six. Seven. Thank you.
Not a lot goes from the right side of the table, so I believe he's going to have to try and bring the cue ball back across the table, either to cannon or possibly play for the two reds into the right black pocket, but this shot's not as easy as it looks positionally. Maybe it does pot into the left pocket, but not quite played as well as he wanted to.
40. $50.
The problem with great players as they go late into their career is they're compared inevitably to their past, and people will remember Jimmy White in his pomp, flamboyance, fluidity, just a joy to watch. You look at Judd Trump now, the exhibition shots he plays. Jimmy White was there first doing that, so to see him struggle can be difficult for his fans, I think.
There was certainly a lot of signs last season that he'd found a lot of form again, and I'm sure at some point this season he'll get back to that form. Works very hard at his game.
Yeah, he's just struggled today to keep tight control of that cue ball. So already here, he's on a bit of an adventure in this break.
But potting this, it could open up all the balls that are currently covering each other. I think he's overdone it.
Jimmy White 70.
But those fans I mentioned will be with him whatever. They've seen everything really. It's been a roller coaster, but he's still so popular. If he gets in the Champion of Champions, there'll be a big crowd there for that. But he's left a chance here for Rhianne Evans.
What?
She wants this to slow up. Slow up.
Just stopped in time. Back in a nice position now.
5.
All the reds are still not in open play, but so Needs to keep a tight cue ball and still do a
Six.
bit of development.
Rhianne Evans.
Well, again, a miss that sort of came out of nowhere.
What?
Nicely on the bot colours now. It's Jimmy's turn to try and solve this puzzle.
Green ball.
I think he might be out of position. It has been tough for both players to keep tight control of that cue
Four.
ball.
Yeah, it's a bit of an ordeal for the two
Right.
players, but it's all about getting these frames on the board. It's a huge frame, this. If Rhianne Evans wins it, then she of course, is guaranteed the point and therefore third place. Jimmy White wins it, then we're going to the last frame to decide who gets that £1,000 and the ranking points.
That looked quite tough to swing the cue ball round. Had to hit it perfectly, but just never quite caught it. It certainly freed up the safe ball that was in the middle of the table.
One. Thank you.
But with the way this match has went, it's very difficult to say it's a frame winning opportunity. It has landed a little bit awkward again.
Six.
Pot this, a nice little stun over for the black. Struck that nicely, and a nice position on
Seven.
the black. Just got the angle, I believe, to bring the cue ball over for these two reds. Not the ideal position there. I think we're going to see a safety
Oh.
shot coming up. Don't fancy Jimmy taking on a pot. And not the best safety shot.
Give me like 40.
No. And that kind of sums up the day, really. Firstly, the chance that he got didn't come to much, and then safety. Well, it's not safe.
Straight cueing required here. Struck that very, very nicely. Excellent shot.
Yes, I mean, it's not been the highest quality match. No point pretending otherwise. I think Rhianne Evans, though,
Eight.
has been the stronger of the two overall. She's given herself the opportunity here to win the
Nine.
key frame. If she wins this frame, she's going to finish in third place, and Jimmy White is going to finish in fourth.
To use a racing analogy, an inch or a mile. At the end of the day, a win's a win. It all counts the same. Getting the job done is the most important thing.
60.
And if she does win the frame, obviously she has a chance to beat the great
80.
Jimmy White as well, which I know would mean a lot to her.
Played that very nicely with the opposite hand. Prime position.
21.
Still going to need the pink, so needs a good position on this blue.
25.
That's pretty good there. Got options on where she wants to play the pink into.
So this is it. This is the ball. If she pots it, that's going to ensure Rhianne Evans will get 1,000 ranking points and prize money out of this tournament. Jimmy White will finish in last place if it goes in, and it hasn't. Another twist.
Rhianne Evans, 30.
I think just the way the frame went, we sensed that that was not going to be absolutely guaranteed, but I've seen easier shots than these. I believe Jimmy's going to play it dead weight as well. Oh.
Yeah, Rhianne Evans will be frustrated there because she got on the pink pretty well. But now she still needs it. Jimmy White, of course, needs both balls.
Quite fitting for the way the frames went. Plenty of drama throughout the frame, so we're ending on a bit of drama too. Jimmy's played that nicely. That's what you're looking for in that shot. Tight object ball. Cuts down the options for the next available shot. Possibly a double into the green pocket. I think she went for it with cue ball safety in mind. Jimmy's got a chance.
Yeah, and even though he struggled overall today, you know, it wouldn't be a surprise if he knocked in a great pink, finished nicely on the black.
Hit that very thick.
Yeah. So, can Rhianne Evans, second, good chance she's had at the pink, win the frame and win the point guaranteed for third place. Yeah, confidently
6
struck.
on the frame.
And Rhianne Evans leads 2-1, and it means whatever happens in the last frame, she's guaranteed to finish in third position. So not a good day for that man, Jimmy White. 2-1 down. He knows he's going to finish in bottom position in this group. Rhianne Evans is going to finish third.
Frame.
Can she win, though? That would be a
Evans.
real feather in her cap if she could win this match. She's 2-1 up. And then we'll have the decider in this group, Judd Trump and Schuster. And Trump needs a draw. He needs 2 frames in that match to top the group. But I'm sure he'd love to go through the day, not only winning every match, but winning every match by way of whitewash. Ross, how have you enjoyed your first day in the commentary box?
I've absolutely loved it. You get a totally different perspective on the game in the commentary box than you do playing and watching at home. Really enjoyed it, and I hope in the future I have more opportunities to come back and do it all again. Loved every second.
Well, we've enjoyed having you here, and it's always good. This thing about this tournament, because we get the perspectives of people who've actually played in it. Tomorrow we'll have Joe Perry along. Of course, he's on the other table today. And then Gary Wilson and Rod Lawler later in the week.
Although this frame doesn't have any direct implications on how the group's going to finish up, both will still be trying very, very hard to get this frame on the board. It's good to have some competitive action that's almost a bit like a practice for the season ahead. You can see both players giving everything to the shots. Been a tough day at the office for Jimmy. But I'm sure getting a bit of competitive action into the arm will certainly help for upcoming events. I think almost forcing Rhianne into going for this pot into the black pocket. Not a lot of other options.
One.
Great pot. On the pink is certainly a bonus.
It would be a big win for her if she could win this match. She beat Stuart Bingham last season in the shootout. Of course, that's just 10 minutes. She won a match in the Six Reds qualifiers, but you know, wins have been hard to come by. And first event of the season to beat Jimmy White to finish third. It is a little springboard for her. She tries to be a bit more consistent.
Would certainly give the confidence a boost going into the remainder part of the season. Always nice to get your first win on the board. Not quite ideal here on any ball. A few potable options, but certainly positionally nothing that stands out. Played that very nicely.
8.
Now table 2, they're deep into frame 2. Stuart Carrington with a chance to make it 2-0 against Andy Lee. Coming in, he's only got 1 point, Lee 0, so it's a similar scenario to this match really, in terms of third and fourth.
Reanne Evans. 17.
Stuart already at Snooker's required stage here. Green to make doubly sure.
Yeah, so it's going to be 2-0. And a chance to get all 3 points there before the group decider between Joe Perry and Jamie Clark. He's out front at the moment with 6 points.
Again, hits her safety shot slightly thick. Excellent weight on the cue ball. A bit of trouble here for Jimmy. Swerving round the brown. This has to be struck nice. Just missed it.
Foul. And a miss. Rhianne Evans full.
Should be getting put back. Can't see any better option than that, potting wise.
Oh, she put him in from where the cue balls come to rest.
A bit easier safety wise from there. The up and down on the 2 reds on the right side cushion is an option, I believe. I don't think the double kiss is on. Although Jimmy's given it some thought, so it must be close. Great shot there from Jimmy. Similar shot here for Reanne. Just needs to make sure she avoids the double kiss. Doesn't look on. Cue ball could be in.
Foul. Jimmy White full. Foul.
Well, it's
Turning
like
into a game of billiards.
I was going to say, yeah, the old 3-ball game, the forerunner of snooker. Mary Queen of Scots, she was a big billiards player. In fact, bit of a grisly story, but when they killed her, they actually wrapped her body in the cloth off the table. She may be less of a fan by then. Are you a billiards man, Ross? Not many around now from the snooker fraternity.
I do play it very, very occasionally, just to give myself a little bit of angle practice. Don't do it too often, maybe one day every month or two, but I do have a set of billiard balls in the hall that do make an appearance now and again. I do have a lot of old billiard books at home, but I was quite an avid collector a few years ago. Got probably more than 100 snooker books in my hall just now. Love my old cues as well. I've got roughly 60 of those.
Well, my advice, don't give Dominic Dale your address, because he'll be coming round.
When Jimmy was up in Musselburgh doing the exhibition, we had a good chat about a lot of the billiard books that I've got and snooker books. I owned one of Jimmy's old books as well. Very interesting conversation we had, and it's great to know Jimmy still has a lot of value in snooker books. I do consult books myself when I don't feel something's going my way, so that's, don't think has went Rhianne's way. Is she still on this red?
7. Touching ball.
The shake of the head says no. There is the frustration pot along the cushion, but having a look at it, touching ball might just be worth playing back to baulk. Become a little bit of a scrappy frame.
Reanne Evans.
Not very often you see 10 reds along the black cushion. Suggests quite a bit of mileage left in this frame.
Yes, and Jimmy White, noticeably, you know, he's not taking any liberties. I mean, the frame effectively is dead in terms of the placings, but he's going to play it like every other frame. Oh, the rain's coming again. Seems here in Leicester it doesn't creep up on you, it just suddenly appears.
I did notice 1 or 2 specks of rain this afternoon. My childhood swimming lessons certainly came in handy. It isn't half coming down now. Great eyesight to catch that so thin. Lovely weighted shot as well. Couldn't have played that any better.
Yeah, this is a new part of the Morningside Arena. It was built last year, so there's now 2 arenas. There's actually a darts event on in the other one. Of course, this is a basketball venue most of the year, but this is where the snooker's housed. Well, that's an error from Rhianne Evans.
It was certainly great to see the darts next door. Always been a fan of the darts, and it's the first time that I've been able to see some live action, so enjoyed that.
1.
Struck that well. Not perfect on any colour, but don't think he'd be fancying the clearance quite yet. It'll probably go down as one of the best clearances in snooker history if he can do it from here. I don't even know where to begin on how you develop these. That's
8.
made it even tougher. That pink going safe certainly not going to help as well.
One.
just landed top side of the blue here, so she is able to manoeuvre the cue ball back down towards the reds.
Six.
I suppose if she can land high on the blue, full force into that cluster of 6 reds, you never know how they're going to open. Got the angle now, so definitely fancy this shot here. Fully committed, blue top spin, it'll go directly into the middle of this pack, and then you've just got to hope the snooker gods are going to give you a good one. Not quite as hard as I thought she was going to hit it, but freed an extra couple of balls.
12.
Worth saying that the women's circuit is an international affair. They've got a tournament in America, they've got the World Championship in Thailand, various other parts of the world they go to as well, so they get to travel. Well,
30.
she could take the blue on. It's whether she is really desperate to win the match. I mean, she's already mission accomplished in terms of getting third place, but I'm sure she'd like to beat Jimmy White. That'd be a feather in a cap.
I'm giving it a lot of thought, so definitely pursuing the win here. Contemplating the safety.
Yellow ball.
That's a handy double kiss.
Rhianne Evans 30.
Yeah, got a bit of fortune. Well,
Foul.
something else has gone wrong for Jimmy. I'm
Yes.
tempted to say it never rains, but it
Rhianne
pours.
Evans.
Maybe not, but just things have not happened really from the start today. It did
Yeah.
start with that Miss Pink. I know I keep talking about it, but that was such a big moment for him today, and really for the overall group, because that match could have finished in a draw. Schuster would have been really struggling then to keep up with Trump.
Yeah, okay.
Slight miscue there, I believe.
Well, now he's got a hit one, hasn't he? Because
Foul.
you can see
Miss.
red full,
Rhianne Evans
so
full.
that would be the ultimate
Yeah.
downer, wouldn't it, to end the day if the frame's awarded to Rhianne Evans?
Certainly wouldn't want to lose a
Agree
frame
with
that way.
first.
I experienced it for the first time with a game with Ronnie last season. But I'm pretty sure Jimmy will make sure he is going to hit
Is that
the
okay?
ball this time.
It's a free play shot. If I have to call a message as result of the stroke, I'll award the frame to the point.
Digging down just to make sure no miscuing. And has left a fantastic opportunity now for Rhianne to close out this match.
Yeah, 26 in front. And now Jimmy's contemplating the long drive back in the rain.
1.
But we know he'll be back for the next match. It'll be qualifying for the European Masters still, despite the events of today, as enthusiastic as ever, because that's what he's like.
And I'm sure he'll be in top form for the next qualifiers. He'll go away, he'll analyse his performance, and I'm sure he'll put a lot of work in.
7.
But this will be a fantastic win for Rhianne.
Yes, as I say, she did win a match in the shootout last season, but that's just 10 minutes.
12.
This is it's still a short match, but it's been 4 frames. Oh
Foul.
no!
Rhianne Evans 12.
Red in with the cue ball. It's been just a match of
Right, 4.
strange moments. That was another one, just as it looked like it was over.
I think just tried to pinch a fraction on the pocket. and just cued it too straight is very easily done. But she'll be disappointed with that, as thunder seems to kick in at the Leicester Arena.
Yeah. Hopefully the building will still be here for the last match between Judd Trump and Xu Se. Jimmy White's pushed that red safe, which doesn't suit him, 34 behind.
Very solid pot there. Just high on the blue, I think, by a fraction. I think she's going to play over to the right side cushion via the left side cushion. We just need the red and one more colour, but that is not quite where she wanted to land. Going to opt for the safety shot now.
6.
Nice target over beside the pink.
Rhianne Evans 6.
Needs cover with the blue. Body language suggests it is very tight.
Meanwhile, Stuart Carrington with a chance to get it won next door 3-0 against Andy Lee. And he would end the day on 4 points as Rhianne Evans knocks that red in.
1.
Played it with lots of run inside. Not quite in position here, but maybe a little bit of value pushing another colour safe. Especially the blue. Not really sure how
Green ball.
could recover 41 points with the blue safe as well, but opting for the green safe.
Rhianne Evans 1.
Just on the other table, if Joe Perry lost 3-0 to Jamie Clark, then Carrington would actually get second, so you know he could still finish in second place there. It's a strange event, isn't it, for the players, because normally it's just knockout. You win, you go through, you lose, you go home. But this is, you've got to get your head around the format here.
I think it's a good event to get the season started. There's lots of excitement and, you know, sort of permutations in the group throughout the day. 3 matches in a day as well. It's good match practice to set you up for the rest of the season. And of course, a deep run in this tournament can help rankings and how you feel about your start to the season, how confident you are, etc. So definitely a lot of value and a good run.
Well, last year it was won by Luca Brissell, so you know he had a pretty good finish as well. Now, will she nail the double? Not quite. That's just refusing to end. She just needs 1 red.
Definitely not an easy event to win as well. Lots of good players.
Yeah, the matches are so short. You know, you can't afford too many off periods. Is this going? It's going over the pocket. Jimmy's thinking, of course it is, after the day I've had. So this is effectively for victory. Yeah, it's been a bitty match, a scrappy match, but it'll mean a lot to Rhianne Evans. She, like most people in the sport, looks up to Jimmy White. They're good friends, and she has beaten him by 3 frames to 1. So Rhianne Evans is going to finish in 3rd place, Jimmy White in 4th. Coming up,